Oh.
Let's go.
Hello. Hello, Ski.
Hello.
Oh, my chat is broken again. Oh, the scuff has begun. Beautiful. Beautiful. Hold on.
Another day, another scuff. Hi, sorry.
Oh, fuck. My chat's just dead-ass broken. Give me a minute. I'll get it. Hold on. We gotta get it. Oh! I think I got it working.
Ah, nice.
There we go. Hi, Ski. Hi.
Hello.
We're good. It's hot. It's so hot. It's horribly hot.
Yeah. So
I
for me, it's
envy
kinda
you.
okay now, because I have the fan and the cold water.
Yeah.
I actually feel that hot now.
Well, I envy Ski so much right now because even though it's summer, I don't know exactly where, but I know a lot of people with her accent, so I know that she's in a place with air conditioning. I know a lot of people with that accent. I love that accent. It's so cute. Oh, my shoulder is killing me. Okay. Let's see. Oh, did you go ahead and pop all the links and stuff in things, or should I go and put them in myself? Okay, good. Scuff. We love Scuff. Oh, I forgot my thing. Okay. Hello. Your goddess of sleep has awoken. My name is Skadi, and today I am with Kimmy, and we will be talking more about video games, because you have ruined Final Fantasy XIV for me. Today, I was glaring at the graphics. I was like, you better do your texture update fast, because that staircase effect on that armor looks like shit. It's funny, because it's a mix between Pennsylvania. Yeah. I have family. I have family in Pennsylvania. I have family all over. And then I have adopted family. You know how you can choose your family? I did that. Yeah. So when I say I've got like so many brothers, yeah. I have a big brother who lives in Montana, I believe. Last I heard from him. I haven't heard from him in years. I should probably check on him. He's that kind of brother that you can check in on every few years. He'll tell you that he's done something like shot himself in the leg. And you're like, oh no! And he's like, also, I installed new speakers in my car. And I'm like, can we get to the leg problem?
Just a flash one.
Yeah. And then the other brother I stole from Zero. His little brother. And then another brother I stole from Zero, who is Core, who you guys know. And he's in... I don't remember. Somewhere in the middle of everywhere. Not on any kind of coast, as far as I remember. And then I got a sister who's on the west coast. And I'm so proud of her. She just graduated, like, medical school and stuff. She's so great. Yay!
Let's go.
She's been my best friend since I was, like, 11, I think. So, she's always been, like, a little sister to me. She's the one who introduced me to Zero, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She's a sweetie. And I've never met her face to face. It's crazy. All of our friendship has been through phone calls and webcams and shit. The power of the internet is incredible.
Yeah.
We met on Toontown, that horrible game I showed you with the horrible Disney graphics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we met there. That's how we became best friends. She had a cat, I had a cat. We were like, did we just become best friends?
That's how I make friends, by having cats.
Yep. Right, let's go. And now I'm very scared. I'm about to move over to the gameplay overlay, which is just the, not gameplay, but it's just screen sharing overlay. Oh, that will work. That will work without a problem. I'm just worried about the chat because the chat broke a second ago. So, everybody pray. Let's see. Let's go. It worked! The chat carried over. Oh, that's in the wrong fucking spot. Hold on. There we go. Alright, so...
It was gonna work. It wasn't gonna be like immediately.
It's working! We don't have scuff! Yay! So last week we talked about ambient occlusion, shadows, particle effects, how it affects bitrate. Thank you, by the way. That helped with my recording. Hi, Babu. Because I was in an area where there were crazy amounts of particle effects going on. And so I was able to adjust my settings a little bit to stop the game from lagging. So thank you.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
so it's good when you can when the game checks and you can immediately tell why that is.
Yeah.
And just adjust accordingly.
New skills. Oh yeah.
New skills.
Kimmy is tech support.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to make him like a little badge. I might do that. I might whip out my iPad and draw a little badge for him that says, tech support. Like when you work in an office and you have like a name tag or a lanyard or something. Just give you that to pin to your model that just says, Kimmy position tech support under the employment of sleep talk. Oh man. Oh, and by the way, Kimmy helped me mess with my audio a little bit, so if my mic is doing any better, if my audio sounds better, please do let me know, because I can only tell from what you guys say. I can't hear myself. So, I mean, I could, but then I would cringe out of my skin. So.
Yeah, you don't want to do it.
No. Editing my video made me want to throw up.
But you are a lot louder now.
Oh yeah, is that a good thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not louder than you, right?
I mean, you're supposed to, because I'm the guest here.
But you're the guest speaker. We need you to talk. I want us to sound like equal.
I mean, we're about the same loudness, so it's fine.
Okay, that's good. Think it's normal? I mean, what I could do is I could literally just up the desktop audio. That'll probably fix it. Oh my god, it's so hot.
Don't make me too loud, though.
Don't worry. Oh, by the way, Kingdom Hearts needed like 150 gigs in order to install.
What?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know.
I mean, I know it's like multiple games, but still.
It's like 9 games, so like, let's be fair, but like, fucking hell, dude. I had to uninstall everything. I think there's 9 games. Yeah, I got it on a really good sale, at least.
Yeah.
Right, let us begin.
Well, so last time we talked about post-processing effects and some other settings that you find in games. And now let's talk about upscalers. So upscalers are a fairly new thing. I mean, not in general, but like in video games, usually the only way to upscale was like you just reduce the resolution of the actual game, and then the game would like still be full screen, and that is a form of upscaling. So upscaling basically is you take, let's say, a 1080p image or game or video or something, and then you make it bigger to 1440p or 4K or whatever.
Okay. Is that what people do with remasters?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
So, of course, you don't want to like just make it bigger, because that's going to look like shit.
Yeah, it's going to stretch.
You want to do it in a controlled way where it will make it look good, and that's what upscalers do.
Oh, basically. Okay. Because like with VTuber, you have to make your model like 6,000 by something so that you can zoom in on all the tiny little details.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because if you make it smaller, then you try to like stretch it, it looks like shit. Where's our first image?
Wait, what?
You
just said something and then your voice kind of cut off.
Oh, I did? What the fuck? I was saying, where's our first image?
Oh.
Waiting for the PowerPoint presentation
to begin.
For
this last part, I don't have that many images, but it's mostly just explainers.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So upscalers, the upside is pretty clear. You can just have something rendered at a low resolution. And that was giving you more performance, of course. But the downside is it's not going to look as good, because no matter how advanced your upscaling algorithm is, it's still like making up detail basically.
Mm-hmm.
So it will never look as good as a native image could look.
Wait, making up detail? So upscaling essentially creates detail that the original artist didn't put there.
Exactly, because like
Oh.
you only have the pixels that you have. Like you can't just get information where there is none.
Yeah.
So you have to make something up.
Okay.
And upscalers basically try to guess what would have been there if it was there.
Okay.
And really good upscalers actually do a pretty good job at it. The thing with game upscalers is that they all also do anti-aliasing at the same time.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
If you're using an upscaler, you don't need to add an anti-aliasing on top of it. It's doing it by itself.
Okay.
The thing with game upscalers also is that
Hi, Kat.
they are trained on... Oh, hi, Kat. What's up? Yes, it's blank for now.
We'll get it in a minute.
Wait, hang on. Let me actually check.
Hello.
Okay.
How are you tonight?
I don't really have an image for upscaling.
I think that's what they were doing in
Let's go.
14. I can actually find some images of the before and after so that you can...
Yeah. I mean, the point of upscalers is that the before and after looks the same.
Yeah.
It does normally not, and if they don't look the same, it's harder to like notice that in, like, for example, your stream rather than an actual game that you play.
Oh my jacket's gone.
I just disappeared. I will find it. But game upscalers are usually AI trained on high resolution renders of games.
Mm-hmm.
So they know like how high quality images of games look like and can therefore reconstruct better.
Yeah.
And the special thing with game upscalers is also that they get information from the game engine about the image that they are about to upscale.
Mm-hmm.
So they can have a better chance of guessing what the missing detail could be.
Okay.
Yeah. There's
Hello.
a few couple options. There's a couple of options that you have if you play a game. It depends on what the game supports. But for one, there's something called ITGI. It's basically the upscaler that the PS5 and the newest Xbox, whatever that is, use.
Xbox, whatever. I mean, yeah, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know what the newest Xbox is. I don't know. They made it way too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and on PC you don't really get that option except for games that are ported from PlayStation exclusives. So for example, Ratchet & Clank has that.
Yeah.
And that's also what enables consoles, together with like the dynamic resolution scaling that we talked about last time.
Yeah.
To get the 4K gaming that they advertise.
Right.
So if you play a game in 4K on the console, and it's like a AAA title or something pretty intensive, it's almost never actually native 4K. It's like 1440p or something in between 1080p and 1440p.
So why do they keep telling us it's 4K when it's not?
I mean, it's technically 4K because like the upscaled image at the end is 4K.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I could also technically pay for a game and just pirate it, so... like, we're both lying here. You sure we might have the same end result of, having the game, but we're both lying to reach our end. And I just think that's
love
funny.
the term technically correct.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so frustrating.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people do that though. They're like, oh, we have this in 4K, but they don't actually have it in 4K. Have you done that? Have you gone on YouTube and searched 4K trailer? Yeah? Wait.
So have you noticed how gaming monitors often advertise themselves as having a response time of less than 1 millisecond?
Yeah, which is bullshit because we can't see that.
No, it's not bullshit because we can see it. We can actually see it as like ghosting,
for real?
as ghosting artifacts. It's bullshit because it's not actually. It's only technically correct.
Oh my god, that's
At least for like most of the monitors that advertise that.
Yeah.
If you get like a 240 hertz OLED gaming monitor, then yeah, that's what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
But like for everything else, especially LCDs and everything, they will not hit that unless they're under a certain circumstance. There's actually a YouTuber called Unboxed who reviews monitors, and he makes like graphs about the actual response times of monitors. It's like out of the box, they never hit those less than 1 millisecond. Usually like 3 milliseconds, 5 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds or something. What you have to do is every gaming monitor has an overdrive settings.
Okay.
Which basically makes the pixel response faster at the cost of accuracy. And you have to put it at the highest setting, so it literally like creates artifacts and everything. And only then, and only sometimes, will it hit actually 1 millisecond.
That's amazing. So technically you can, but you do have to break it to do it.
Yeah. I mean, you're not breaking it. You're just creating a lot of artifacts in your image.
That's funny. That's really funny, actually. I like that. That's funny. I mean, I don't like that because it's being lied to again. Yeah. Oh my god. And it's not actually false advertising. That's the problem. Because it never says out of the box it's like this. It's like no, it can do it. It can do it.
Yeah. The sad thing is it just has to do it. Has to be able to do it. Not that it has to like do it under a certain like it has to do it all the time or something.
Yeah,
just has to be able to do it.
That's how headphone companies get away with it. A charge time of 12 hours. It's like, what, really? Yeah, we never said 12 consecutive hours, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same with, what was it again?
Phone batteries, like we were talking about.
Yeah, that too. But, I had something in mind, I've forgotten.
Sorry. I hate when that happens. When that happens to me, right? So, something that my mom taught me. If you forget something, you're like, oh, I just had it, it was right there. Move your head around. Maybe it just fell out and it's still floating around in the air. And I shit you not, it works. No, I'm not even kidding. I will leave a room and walk back into a hallway and I'll find the thought that I left in the hallway. Like, it's weird. It's so strange. I don't know why. It's like some magic. But it works. Did it work?
No.
You didn't do it right. I refuse to
remember it sometime later.
Yeah, you'll remember it, you'll just blurt it out around. That's what I do. Like that Vine from ages ago. He's like, what was that show called? And then he's in class the next day and he stands up and he goes, Dragon Tales, everyone. And his whole class is like, what? It's such a mood. Yeah. So this is the update we're getting in 2 days. But if you look at the scales basically and the edges, you'll see what I mean about how it should have anti-aliasing on, but it doesn't. And it makes me mad to look at. Don't worry, I sent you a big file size this time.
I need to create like a thing so I can paste the image into it.
There we go. So if you zoom in on the eyes on the before, you see how it's like you've got all those like square kind of edges and stuff. It's very sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not smoothed down. Yeah, ever since you taught me about, anti-aliasing and all that, I've been looking at the before because the after hasn't been released yet. And I can't play the fucking game. It's infuriating me to look at. Look at it.
This is not aliasing, actually.
No, that's just a problem, yeah. That's just a solid texture, but, like, it all looks like that.
That's just a low, like, that's what happens when you have a circle and you make it with a low amount of triangles.
Oh, okay. Zero said that it was a PS3 game.
Smooth out one point to the next, you have to add more points to
Yeah.
get a rounded thing. And
So is that
this
why it
one
looks all sharp?
has less than this one is. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
'cause-
actually have enough to where they can make it perfectly round.
Yeah.
Or they changed how they render the eyes.
Because look at the horns as well. Like, here.
Yeah.
The horns here
Yeah, the
are all
texture's
sharp.
quite blurry. All the little details are painted on rather than being
Yeah.
actual 3D.
Yeah.
And here they redid the whole thing. Huh. I mean,
Yeah.
the details are still painted on, but like the actual
Just a lot
3D model has
smoother, yeah,
more
yeah.
detail in it.
It was originally released on PS3 like era about 10 years
Yeah.
ago, so it's kind of understandable why it looks like that. But the problem is that not being able to fix it in my graphic settings was making me so mad. Because I was like, it should be pretty. That's not.
Yeah, when they make these games, they usually don't make it future-proof.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of make the highest settings to run on like high-end hardware, and that's it.
Yeah.
With something like Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
no, with the path tracing, they specifically made it so it's something made for future generations of hardware. So
Yeah.
like in 5 to 10 years, you can go back to the game and then crank all the settings,
Mm-hmm.
and then have a really good-looking game still.
Yeah. Because you can see it on the background as well, like even the bricks. Why did I just point? Yeah. Why did I just physically point as if you could actually see what I was doing? I don't. My God. But yeah, you can see like
the walls are detailed, more detailed, high resolution.
So excited for it. It's gonna be out on Friday. I'm not gonna stream it because I don't play it the way that anyone would want to watch. I can't do the buttons with my hand because it's an MMO, so you gotta tap the buttons on your keyboard. So I click everything. And when Zero realised that I was clicking everything, the look of horror that he gave
me. Honestly, that's how I play MMOs.
Same. But yeah, I was just like, you haven't died. I've been healing you. And he's like, no. He's like, at least use a controller. And I'm like, no. He puts up with it now.
Would be worse, in my opinion.
Well, it can be quite good for 14. The controller is pretty decent. But like, I'm a creature of habit,
Mm. Yeah, what I noticed the most is like the texture quality of this is like way higher.
Yeah. And like, look at the neck. Look at the shading on the neck there. Oh. Like it's smoothed over in that one, but the one on the left has like, it's like one solid line and then a second solid line, but the one on the right has more of a gradient effect to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the edges are more smoothed out.
Yeah. And that's just one thing. The reason it took so long to do is because they've overhauled the entire game.
Yeah. It also seems to me that on the new one, the nose is like, the detail seems to be 3D modeled.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nostrils are just painted on.
Yeah, that's actually true. I didn't notice before, but you're right. No wonder it looks so much nicer.
Yeah. Though it might also just be painted on, but like in a better way.
It does look like it's been 3D modeled, though.
Yeah.
I'm excited. We've only seen like pictures. We haven't seen what the animations look like yet.
Oh, are they overhauling those as well?
Well, it's just that it's gonna look nicer for these new models to be making like the cute faces that they make.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how old Skadi rigging versus new Skadi rigging. Like the eyes and the mouth still relatively move the same because I didn't want to take away that face that everybody loves so much. But it looks so much better with like the new face paint, the new skin suit, as you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. So yeah, as you can see, you've ruined it for me because I can't update those graphics. Soon. Friday. Yeah. So do you think they're upscaling any of that, or do you think this has all been done from scratch?
No. The actual upscale, like the upscaler is a setting that you can turn on or off in the game, which upscales the whole frame of the game, basically. It's not like something that they do like to the game.
Or they've repainted it. So is that what Cyberpunk has? So in a few years they'll be able to upscale it to whatever we have, like the PS10.
No. Upscalers are a thing in games primarily to get some more performance out of your hardware.
Mm-hmm.
And like, because graphics cards don't improve as quickly as they used to, so they had to find newer ways to like get better graphics onto games.
But the prices
go up. Yeah, the price is also really gone up. I can actually explain why that is. But to finish this thought, it's like, fuck, I forgot.
Sorry. That's not fair though. The graphics cards don't go up in like quality, but they go up in price by like, what is it, a couple hundred every time?
Yeah, unfortunately that is not entirely the GPU maker's fault. Because like, the way graphics cards primarily have improved is they all have like a certain amount of transistors. It's like the smallest part of a GPU and the CPU and stuff. And they could make them smaller and smaller. And they all have the same, always do the exact same thing. So if you could make them smaller, you can fit more at the same area. And more at the same area means more performance for the same amount of power that you use.
Okay.
If you look, for example, let me Google real quick. Let's say like a GTX 970. Can I get the stats for it really quick? Technical details. Wait. Okay, let me explain it like all the graphics cards have like a bigger die size, usually. Like, let's say 56 millimeter. And over the years it shrunk down to like smaller and smaller.
Yeah, like the picture that you showed me of like the 3 different graphics cards that you had, where the biggest one was like enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not quite it. That's just like what coolers the graphics card makers put on.
Right, yeah, because it needs big fans.
Yeah, and you could put bigger. What they do usually is like they all get the same graphics card, but they can be like, oh, let me actually put a bigger cooler and like more power stuff onto it, so people can like get more performance out of them, or have them run quieter, and they charge a premium for that basically. So the cheaper versions of the same graphics card usually have a cheaper cooler and therefore run hotter and or are slightly slower, like very slightly.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. That actually that makes the most sense out of anything so far that I've ever heard about graphics cards.
Yeah, but
I'm clueless with
I just remembered. So it's becoming harder and harder to make these transistors smaller.
Yeah.
So if you say like a CPU from, let's say, 5 years ago had a transistor size of 40 nanometers, and one that's today, like the one that I have, is 5 nanometers. So it's almost 3 times smaller.
Holy shit.
That basically means about 3 times as much performance for the same amount of power that you use.
Okay, wait, if it's smaller but it uses the same amount of power?
Yeah.
Okay. And because it's smaller, they can fit more of them on.
They become more power efficient, so you can be like, oh, let me add more, and then we use the same power, but have more performance.
Okay.
You need less power to like make them.
But they can't make them even smaller. We won't be able to see them anymore.
I mean, you can't see them with your naked eye, really. Because it's in the nanometers.
How big is a nanometer?
It's 1000 millimeters. No, wait. if 1,000 nanometers is 1 millimeter, I think, if I remember correctly.
What? I've never heard of a nanometer before, so this is like stunning to me. So like,
Yeah, it's really small. You really
so
have
like the
to
head of a pin, or smaller?
Huh?
Like the head of a pin.
The head of the pin?
Like, you know a pin that you use in sewing?
Oh yeah. No, I think the head of the pin is much bigger than a transistor.
Oh. That's
It's actually
crazy.
a picture that goes like...
Small things don't really give me problems, but things that are too big. Can you see a nanometer, Ski asks? Can you?
No, you can't. Not with the
Ooh.
naked eye. You need like a thing to see it really.
Big microscope, are they called?
Yeah, one of those microscopes.
Oh, I loved playing with those in science class when I was a kid. That was so much fun.
Yeah. Wait, how thick is a hair?
I mean, mine is super, super thin, so... I have fine hair, but
Okay,
I have a lot of it and I shed constantly. It's annoying.
The average human hair is 0.08 millimeters in thickness.
So...
One nanometer is 0.001 nanometers.
So it's smaller it's
So
than, like, the
way-
average hair... Oh my god.
Way smaller. That's why they need like specialized equipment and stuff to make transistors.
That's
Because
why
they are
they've-
so small. That's why there's only a few companies that actually make them.
And that's why my game looks so pretty. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
But yeah,
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
The
And
problem
because it's
is,
hard to do, that's why it's so expensive. It's like how you how you pay a specialist more money because, like, they clearly put in the work, you know?
Yeah. It's all very expensive machinery and a lot of knowledge that you need to make these things. That's why they're so expensive. And the problem is that physics, because there's a theoretical limit, which is around 1 nanometers, where we really can't get them any smaller anymore.
Yeah, no.
Because what happens is that they basically flip like ones and zeros around, and then at that size, it becomes impossible to prevent them from doing that on their own or influencing each other.
Yeah. I love physics.
And that's why they kind of try to find different ways to make them smaller, and one of the ways is like upscaler.
Okay.
That's why I see such a hard push from NVIDIA with these software solutions like upscaling, ray tracing, frame generation, and stuff like that, is because they know they cannot make the transistors much smaller for much longer. So they try to like gain an edge with software.
That's the thing, though, right? And I've seen this before, and we haven't had this discussion. We haven't had a console wars discussion, and I'm not opening up a console wars discussion. I'm not doing it. I'm not engaging, because people get aggressive about that. But you cannot deny the very simple fact that Nintendo is winning and is not even a part of the console wars, simply because they do not take part in this nonsense about graphical updates, simply because they don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, look at Mario and then look at The Last of Us. Do we need to see that Mario has pores in his skin? No. No, we don't.
It wouldn't fit the art style.
It'd be horrifying.
Nintendo kind of understands well that having all the hardware in the world doesn't mean anything if you don't have any software to go with it.
Exactly.
So they focus more on software.
Yeah, because it's like you're saying about, the graphics cards and all that. It's going to reach a point where the average person is not going to be able to play the game because their hardware can't keep up with it. Like,
yeah.
No.
I mean, this is happening right now. Like, new games that come out have insanely high, like, minimum requirements and like general requirements.
Yeah, like I I don't know. I'm not gonna spend thousands to update my PC just so that I can play, like, Call of Duty version 200. Like, there's so many of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's silly to me. But I will gladly buy a new Switch every 6 years or so. Just because, like, the quality of the games is there, you know? It doesn't, like, I mean, I play games like Stardew Valley, which is pixel art, which doesn't require, like, strong hardware at all. Because the quality of the storytelling and the mechanics and all that is more important. However, have you seen the new Dragon Quest that's coming out? Or not the new Dragon Quest, but the remaster?
No, I haven't.
Hold up, that's something that you're gonna like.
No.
It's so pretty. So it's Dragon Quest. That says 9. Not good at Roman numerals. So, no, I want to see the original, not the remake. So, picture's not very big, sorry. The original Dragon Quest looked like this.
Mm-hmm.
And now...
Like so.
They're releasing a HD 2D. And let me get this picture. This is a nice... This is a nice one. Why is it gone? Open image in new tab. Where's the last one? Here's the one with the characters actually on the screen. Oh no, I don't want to save the image. I'm not that into it. Like, I'm excited for it, but... So, like, the pictures aren't the greatest, but you can see that they have retained the pixel art style, but made it, like, it's still 2D with, like, 3D backgrounds and stuff like that, but they've retained the pixelated art style that people love so much about it. But look at it. Look at the shaders on it. Look at, like, the I forget the fancy word for, like, the glow of the flames that you talked me about.
Bloom.
That was it. Thank you. Look at the bloom on the flames, right? Like, and that's what Nintendo's doing. Like, I love...
They just create an art style that works well with, like, graphics that are less intensive.
Yeah. And it looks so pretty, and it's not going to break my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's always, like, a good reason to go after realism, but, like...
Oh, yeah, if the art style calls for it.
And then and do something else, maybe. Something like this.
Mm-hmm. Like how DMC looks as good as it does. Because that isn't from hyper-intensive graphics alone. That's from animations. That's from mocap. That's from a lot of things. Yeah, that's from a lot of things. That's not because they have the best textures in the world. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, look at... I hate to do it because I do love Square Enix, but look at Final Fantasy 16. And look at Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Like, when Cloud makes an emotion on his face, it's hard to tell if he's hurt, angry, sad, or if that's just his normal, like, he has, like, resting bitch face. So, like, he looks super pretty, but all of them look the same. They all have the same face, and they all make the same expressions. Like, it's great that he has, like, a very, like, subtle thing to his skin that makes him look like he has freckles in certain lights, but, like, where is my emotion? I paid $70 for this game.
The main thing that the creators of Devil May Cry did is, like, not only the face scan, but also when they recorded the animations for the faces and everything, they used mocap for all of it.
That's why the lip sync is so good,
I can imagine that in Final Fantasy they would, like, still hand animate the actual, like, facial animations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes capturing reality works better than trying to make your own.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Because Cloud doesn't look sad at any point. Like, you could add tears to his face, but I still wouldn't believe that boy's sad. I believe that's his normal face.
You just cut an onion or something.
Yeah. Have you played it?
No, I haven't, but I really wanted to. I think I couldn't because it was a PS5 exclusive.
What? It's
I
on
remember something
Steam.
like this, but yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, it's on
Wasn't that an
Steam.
exclusive?
No, Final Fantasy
it's on
16,
Steam.
I believe, was the exclusive, but Final Fantasy VII, the remake, that's on Steam, I'm sure. Because people mod it. People have modded it to put Cloud in, like, a maid outfit, because of course.
Of course. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, there's even two of them. Crisis Core, Reunion, and then Integrate.
Oh god, okay, sorry. Crisis Core is the story of Zack. That is, like, a remaster. If you're gonna play it, you gotta play Crisis Core first. Because that's, like, the prequel. That explains what's going on. And then you play 7.
I see.
Yeah. Because otherwise you'll be like, what's Sephiroth doing? But it's way better to know what he's doing and then play 7. And be like, oh my god, that's what he's doing. Bad Sephiroth. No, stop it. Stop being naughty.
I see.
But Sephiroth's not even, like, evil.
I probably heard of this back when I didn't have a gaming PC yet, so I couldn't
Oh,
play
yeah.
it, so I give a shit. But now I can.
Final Fantasy 16 is the newest one. I think it was a PS5 exclusive. It's a good game. It's got good gameplay. It's got some really cinematic, awesome fights. But again, everybody's faces are the same, and everybody makes the same fucking emotions. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, the fact that my VTuber model can make more emotions than Clive can is deeply concerning when Clive's, like, suffering.
I guess it wasn't really a priority to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like, because what they do is they want them to look pretty, right? So they don't allow, like, I wouldn't really call it, like, wrinkles, but, like, facial creases. Like, when somebody's annoyed and their eyebrows are furrowed, you know, there's lines that appear. There's lines that appear, like, around the eyes when you're squinting. There's smile lines and stuff when you're laughing really hard. Like, you gotta add in those little details. If you try to make them look like a model that's airbrushed all the time, doing the fucking min-maxing your looks face, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I feel like the art style is more of a doll-like art style, so emotions don't really come true with that.
yeah. That's where the problem comes in. That's why DMC's better.
Yeah.
Because they let them emote.
Yeah. But yeah, to go back to the original topic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we are speaking for almost an hour and we only started. That's so fun. But yeah, upscalers. I explained ITGI, the one that consoles use. Sometimes you have the option for PC, but for PC there are better options. And every graphic card manufacturer, so Nvidia, AMD, and Intel, have their own version of upscaling. Yeah, exactly, Suki. Nvidia has DLSS, which you might have heard about before.
Yes. I don't know what it means, but I heard of it.
DLSS stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling.
Oh.
And it's basically their upscaler, like the very own.
Okay.
AMD has FSR, and Intel has XESS. There's also one specifically for the Unreal Engine and Unreal Engine games. There's TAAU, which you might remember when we talked about anti-aliasing, there was TAA, or temporal anti-aliasing.
Yeah.
That is basically temporal anti-aliasing with an upscaler on top.
Okay.
And that's what they use in Unreal Engine 4 games. And for Unreal Engine 5 games, they use TSR, or temporal super resolution.
Okay.
Which also uses TSA as an anti-aliasing. What you need to know about upscalers is they come in multiple, like, when you turn them on, you have multiple settings for them, usually quality, balance, and performance. So that is the degree to which the actual game resolution is reduced and then upscaled from. So let's say you play at 1440p.
Yeah.
And you turn on DLSS at quality setting. That means it's rendered at 1080p and then upscaled to 1440p.
Okay.
And balances resolution even lower and then performance even lower.
Okay.
At the moment, DLSS is considered the highest quality of them all, like out of all the options.
And that's NVIDIA,
so if you
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you do have an NVIDIA card, I would recommend to use that whenever it's available.
Yeah, mine's NVIDIA.
Yeah. And every graphics card from the 2000 series onwards, so you have a 2060, which is literally the 2000 series.
Mm-hmm.
So from that on, all the NVIDIA cards support it, but both AMD and Intel graphics cards do not support it.
Oh, okay.
NVIDIA is doing the Apple thing of having a closed system to sell their products.
Okay.
AMD FSR is lesser quality. Some might even say it's the least good option.
Yeah.
But it is actually open source and available on any graphics card. So if the game has it, you can turn it on.
That's pretty good.
And XeSS is also supported by every card, but has the least support. But it tends to look better than FSR. And it's obviously optimized for like Intel graphics card as well.
And the best one is the NVIDIA one, though. Is that what we're getting?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the only downside being that only like newer NVIDIA cards can use it.
Okay.
It's also the most supported one, so you will see that most games have DLSS, and then a less amount of games have FSR, and even less amount has XeSS.
Yeah, I've never used anything but NVIDIA, so...
Yeah. One thing you have to keep in mind is that they can look more aliased than native due to the actual render resolution being lower, but in my experience that is almost never the case. And they can sometimes even improve visuals. For example, in games that don't have a good anti-aliasing solution, because with DLSS, NVIDIA is using the DLAA anti-aliasing solution.
Mm-hmm.
And that can actually look better than, for example, a bad TAA implementation.
Okay.
And
oh my god, what's us?
Exactly for that, I actually have...
an example? Yay.
Committing war crimes TV. Not an example, but a graphic to illustrate the point.
Okay. Are you in Minecraft? Is that where you're committing these war crimes? Are you in my house again?
Oh no. He's playing Minecraft again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Wasas, you would have loved to see Mikola, by the way. He is beautiful.
So this is from a video that I took. It basically shows like someone, like the person that made the video, Hardware Unboxed, basically looked at games and then played them both at native resolution with their respective TAA upscaling, anti-aliasing, sorry, and with DLS to see whether or not it actually looks better or worse with DLSS.
Okay.
And if we focused on only the 1440p quality part, like so that is 1080p upscaled to 1440p, you will see that in a lot of games DLSS actually looks better.
Yeah.
In many cases it's a tie, and in some cases it's like slightly better to use native.
Yeah.
But if you consider that with DLSS you get a pretty big performance boost, it is almost always pretty much makes sense to use DLSS at quality setting if you are playing at 1440p. And then on 4K the story is a bit different. Very often native just looks better. So it is depending on the game, but if you are playing at 4K, you probably want to use DLSS anyways because it's such a high resolution.
Okay.
Then on performance mode, that is way lower, so it would basically be 1080p to 4K, because it has to make up so much information. Is basically native looks way better in almost every scenario, except for Death Stranding. Which is entirely because their TAA implementation is so terrible that even at performance setting, DLSS will look better.
That's funny.
Yeah, they really blew it, yeah. But yeah, but if you, how good the upscaling will look is depending on like from what resolution it upscales from. The lower the actual resolution is, the worse it will look. Which is why I personally only recommend using DLSS if you are already playing at like 4040p or at a higher resolution.
Okay.
And specifically at 1440p, I would recommend the quality setting at best.
Thank you, SS.
If you want to keep a good visual experience. But of course, if you really need the frames, then you can also lower it down. It's just not gonna look as good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just looking at the games on this list, and again, there's a lot of things where it's just like, again, the animation just isn't there. They're not doing the mocapping.
Yeah.
And I mean, when it comes to Forspoken, they failed in every single aspect of that. I don't know what they were doing when they were making that game. They were on crack or something, I swear to God.
Yeah, Forspoken was a failure. There was one cool thing about it, though, which is something that Ratchet & Clank also does, is they use direct storage to load in the levels. And
not about the gameplay.
That basically means that the loading times are
not about the story,
long.
not about anything. The thing that you're complimenting is the way that they stored their data. That is incredible.
It's not how they stored it, it is like how they load it. They do it with this direct storage thing, which basically means that all the textures from words and characters and everything is normally it goes into the RAM and then through the CPU. The CPU basically uncompresses it and then sends it to the GPU so it can like apply it. But what direct storage does is like it's reading straight from the storage into the RAM, and then it will be uncompressed directly on the graphics card, cutting out the CPU entirely.
That's pretty handy. That's clever. There you go, Forspoken. You won something.
And with specific clever level design, it basically means that you can eliminate loading screens basically entirely. Like if you go into the game or like fast travel in game at any point and you have like a fast SSD, it will always take less than 2 seconds.
That's handy. There's a lot of like open world games and everything doing their own clever ways of dealing with loading screens. And I do love seeing the cheeky little things that they do, like in Elden Ring, when you enter an area where, like, it's not a boss door, it's not like the big foggy green yellow gate or anything. It's just a regular door, right? When you open a door, I'm sure you've seen when I've been playing it, I've opened a door and you've put both hands on the door and done the animation of pushing like 2 double doors open with, one hand on either door, just pushing it open, right? So Zero said that the reason why you end up locked into that animation is because that's actually the loading screen as it loads in the next area. But because it's open world, it's tricking you otherwise. I just think that's
a lot of times they use like animations or something like that to hide the loading. You probably notice in some games that at some points you cannot skip the story or like a cutscene or something. It's because at the background it loads the game actually.
Yeah, it's so clever.
Yeah,
I love that. It's clever. It's a little tricky. I love it.
Yeah, with direct storage you speed it up even more, which is really cool. But unfortunately you have to like build your game around it.
Yeah.
And that basically means that at least on PC. There's only Forspoken and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart that actually have it. No other game uses it.
Forspoken and Ratchet & Clank have something in common, but you'll never guess what. I think that's funny.
I hope it picks up though, because it's really cool.
What is that?
Okay, that was Upscalers. Let's talk about ray tracing.
Yeah, ray tracing is where I get confused. Also, Wasas, don't worry, I will send you a picture of Nicola after all is said and done. If I send it here, you're gonna start foaming at the mouth, so. He's pretty, that's what I'll say.
Okay, ray tracing is basically a realistic simulation of light, reflections, and shadows.
Oh, that's what it is.
It's, to put it very simple. And the games usually use a very cut down version. So you know that, for example, if the sunshine is shining into your room, it bounces off the walls, then to the floor, and then all around to light up the area. And how games cut down on it is basically limit the amount of bounces it actually does, the simulation, and then also the quality of like the amount of rays that you use.
Okay.
So I have prepared an example here. Let me pick out the right one.
Thank you, Asas.
Actually, with Blender. So it's not like the real-time ray tracing that games use. It's the high-quality ray tracing that 3D software use.
Okay. Wait, why am I
So here I have rendered a donut. Yeah, a donut. With ray tracing. So there's like 3 lights, 2 on the sides and 1 at the front of the donuts that are illuminating it.
Yeah, that's why it looks
and
so shiny.
It's basically ray tracing it. And I use 2 samples per pixel, which I honestly don't know how to explain it, but it's like a very low resolution ray tracing setting, basically.
It's a Kibo donut?
That is also, yeah, that's Kibo donut.
It's cute.
And you can see there's a lot of noise in here.
Oh yeah,
that's basically how limited ray tracing shows itself. But if you look at how long it took to render, 0.27 seconds. So it's really fast.
Okay.
So how do we get rid of the noise? Well, we can just use more samples.
Oh.
Here's an example where I used 500 samples. So like 250 times the amount, and you can see now it looks very clean. But if you look at how long it took, 7 seconds, almost 8 seconds. That is way longer. And that is just not time that you have when you're trying to render a game at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So what they use in games is a denoiser. Basically, it looks at the noise and then tries to guess what pixels would be in between that noise and tries to fill it out.
Okay. Imagine not having 7 seconds. I agree, Ski, I agree.
Imagine. I mean, again, 7 seconds for a scene that's literally 3 donuts and 4 lights. That is a very simple scene.
That's true.
Video games are way bigger than that.
Oh, Wasas did just say per frame.
Per frame, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a bit different. That makes sense.
And if we apply this denoising, Blender has one built in.
Perfect, but it is a little bit better, yeah.
It's not perfect, but it looks a lot better, actually.
Time?
It didn't take much longer.
Okay.
It went from 0.27 to 0.35.
That is
video games,
pretty good.
Yeah. Video games use like a combination of multiple denoisers that are specifically tuned for the game to make this happen, because it is just necessary. So adding ray tracing is, for that reason, actually a very complicated thing to do.
I saw
that's
way back when... I'm just curious if you can explain this for me. Way back when Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach came out. Sorry, I forgot the name of it then. A lot of people were having performance issues, specifically because the ray tracing was causing the game to lag like crazy. Now that you've just shown me that and shown me the difference between the 7 seconds and the 0.35 seconds, is it possible that that is what the problem was? That it was using that style of ray tracing, so it was like 7 seconds per frame? Whilst I just said you also had it, you had the same problem with Security Breach? Like, I wonder if I could find a clip to show you, but...
Security Breach has ray tracing, what?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Hold on, let me just double check.
So it was an issue with the ray tracing. Like
when you
turn
turned
it off, it went fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were still some performance issues, but hold on. FNAF security breach, ray tracing. Yeah. Hold on. Oh, they removed it. That's funny. That's so funny. They removed it. Wow. Yeah. So.
I mean, that could be a number of reasons, really. It could be because they couldn't get like their denoiser to be good enough, so they literally used more rays.
Yeah.
To compensate for that, and then that's just using more performance, or some other thing. I don't know.
Yeah, especially in the atrium. Yeah. It was really bad the way it was running. Because I watched the obvious, King of Five Nights at Freddy's play it, like the day it was released. And every time he turned the camera, everything was dragging and stuttering and all that. And then when he turned the ray tracing off, it was fine. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the atrium, the lights.
I would assume that the developers didn't really know how to work ray tracing yet.
Okay.
And how to make it really performant, so.
What's interesting.
Figure it out and then.
This is where, again, your expertise is going to come in handy. Steelwool Studios were the ones that made it. They had made a previous game for Five Nights at Freddy's. However, the game that they made was Help Wanted, which was the VR game. So Steelwool Studios were VR game studios, essentially. And then they went on to make, just a regular PC game. Does that... Oh, Wasos has the release patch. You can test it. Oh, that'd be really cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the follow.
Let's go.
From Mito War 3008. Thank you for the follow. Hiya.
You had Five Nights at Freddy's and had to follow immediately.
Yeah. But yeah, so because they were more experienced with making VR games, does that make sense of why they would struggle with, I guess, optimizing the graphics for a PC game?
Yeah.
Also, you're learning English? Hi, okay, wonderful. Wonderful. That's great.
I can imagine that, of course I don't know, but what could have happened is, like, because they made Help Wanted in VR, they most likely used forward rendering rather than deferred rendering, which we talked about last time.
Yeah, I remember.
Because forward rendering because you have to rely on MSAA for anti-aliasing, basically. It just works way better for VR games. And it also kind of works better because, like, for VR, because you have higher resolutions, you have to make the game simpler anyway, so why not just use the more faster approach?
So trying to slap that on a game that has, like, more hardware demands, I guess
they then went to deferred rendering, and of course they would have to relearn a lot of things.
Okay.
And how to optimize them, because it's, like, very complicated stuff. And then that's where they had problems, because they might have been experts at forward rendering VR games, but not at, like, making desktop games with deferred rendering.
Okay. That explains that. That's
Again,
interesting.
It's just a hypothesis. I don't know, actually.
Well, I mean,
anything, really.
it's a pretty good hypothesis. Oh, hello.
Hello.
From Brazil.
From Brazil.
Hello. Yeah. That's cool. Well, you can chat to your heart's content. I've got a few viewers that pop in and go, I'm learning English, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm a terrible teacher, but I will always do my best to, like, chat to you to help out, because I admire anyone learning a language. Which, I mean, Kimmy learned English. He speaks more than one language. I struggle to speak one language.
I feel like if you learned multiple languages as a child, you have an easier time learning multiple languages as an adult. Simply because your brain is kind of wired in a multilingual way.
Masa's also learned English. Man, everybody's so good. And I'm over here like, what does this word say? And I say it completely wrong. And I can't pronounce the TH sound. The sound. For certain words I struggle with.
I struggled with that for a long time.
Ski understands.
That's why when you listen to some a German speak English, You often hear them pronouncing it as the.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than the.
Yeah. I do everything
Because it's
with
just fast, very hard to pronounce.
Oh, yeah. Because it's like, I don't know where it came in for me, but I just struggled when I was a kid to make the sound, the TH. So I can't, like, think about the Norse god of thunder, right? But there we go again. Thunder. I say that with a F sound, not a thunder. See, it sounds weird when I say it like that. So I say Thor, not Thor. It's just strange. It's just how I talk. I'm just weird.
It's hard to pronounce. Many people struggle with that.
Zero's tried to like sit me down and teach me, and it's just, he's like, you are capable of it. And I'm like, yeah, but it sounds weird. Like 3. That's like painful for me to do. So when I'll say, oh, the number 3, and he's just like, we gotta roll it back a second ago. We gotta roll it back. What did you just say? And I'm like, don't do this to me, man. Don't point it out. Couldn't make the TH sound. Yeah, it's tough! But I've been speaking English my whole life. That's what's so embarrassing. And I'm not. But Juan says, don't you speak more than one language?
I feel like it's easier to excuse when you speak only one language, because you learned it as a kid, it's like you didn't actively study for it. You were like,
I guess,
taught it essentially, so you don't really think about it. And
yeah,
like,
I picked it up from people around me. You speak 3 languages, and see, there we go again. I said 3 with like a f sound, but yeah, you speak that many, and you're just over here saying, "Oh, I can't make the TH." No, dude, no. I speak one. I speak one language, and I can't do it correctly. Like, don't beat yourself up. But to be fair, people seem to like when I talk. So, here's the trick. Here's the trick, Kimmy. If you yap really fast, most people don't notice you doing it.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
That's why I speak fast.
Yep. Okay, if you don't know how to pronounce something, and you just yap as quick as you can, then most people will breeze straight by it. Unless, of course, you're with Zero, and then he'll call you out on it, and he'll stare you down. Teases me all the time. Also 19? Oh my gosh. Little ones. I have so many little ones in my audience. I feel like I have to protect them. Alright, so that's ray tracing. I now understand ray tracing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, games use a cut-down version. That's like have a low amount of light rays.
Yeah.
So, like, they don't do this, they do this, and then just use a denoiser.
Yeah, which is quite clever.
And also, they limit what objects are ray traced, and like the light bounces, and the complexity of them is also lowered, so they can run as fast as possible. Even though they don't run very quickly at all compared to like other ways to do it in games. Of the 3 like ways, so light, shadows, and reflections.
Yeah.
Shadows are probably the hardest to notice, because we've gotten so good at faking shadows is that if you're just playing a game, you will probably not really see the difference between like high quality shadows and ray traced shadows.
Yeah, I honestly could not tell you the difference.
Yeah. Light
I don't stand there going, where's the shadow?
Can be a bit subjective.
Yeah.
I feel like in light, it's certainly way easier to notice, but it also depends. Like, it's also can be faked very good, but also I noticed a couple of games, especially Fortnite, just look way better with the ray traced lighting. But so they didn't have like they couldn't fake it as well without ray tracing. And reflections is the one thing where you really notice the difference.
Yeah, you can definitely notice with reflections.
Yeah. So let's look at some pictures. Those are pictures that might look familiar to you because they were on the Discord server actually.
Oh yeah, you showed me this before.
Yeah. So let's go back to this. So this is, if you can, as you can see, screen flash reflection. So no ray tracing.
And then you explained how it's the reason it cuts off at that one point is because it's only reflecting what we can see.
Yeah, what the game is rendering. So this is basically this part. But it's fast. So here you can see we're getting around 150 FPS.
Yeah.
No. So what happens if we throw ray tracing on it?
Oh,
So
suddenly you get the whole...
The difference is extremely noticeable.
Yeah.
You can see the reflections is now on the whole screen.
Yeah.
Because it's doing the calculations also off screen.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also see the
shadows
ranges
away.
So, yeah, shadows also are casted way more precise. But you can see here there's a triangle in the middle in the reflection that you couldn't see before. It's because behind me is actually also like the light up triangle that is also here.
Oh.
But in screen space you cannot see it, but in ray tracing you can. And it's reflected on here. What you can also notice is that the reflections that are further away, they kind of get less detailed.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see like the outside shape, but not the details inside of them.
Yeah.
Which is the limiting factor of ray tracing. And the best way to showcase this is by enabling path tracing, which is ray tracing, but on higher settings, basically.
That's so pretty.
And then here you can see all the little details in the background are visible.
Yeah. Oh, Kimmy? Mito is asking what that is. Is that a game?
Yeah, that's a game. It's called Disorder. It's like a game made by one guy.
Oh.
It's kind of like, it's a puzzle game similar to Portal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Disorder. Cool. Video game graphics. Yes, Vassos, it is. But no, that is beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. You can also see the lighting of the cubes, the blue lighting is
it's all reflecting
onto the reflections as well, making them look even realer.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. So you can see how ray tracing is like
now
a cut-down version of that.
I should be leaving ray tracing on.
But even path tracing is still pretty limited. You just this kind of not. Yeah, because to make it run faster. What you can also see is probably if you compare what you can see in screen space reflection and in ray tracing, you will see that those details, some of the details are actually identical at the front.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one thing they do to optimize ray tracing is actually they use like the normally rendered stuff and then mix it together with the ray tracing to like have of denoising.
Okay. And then that's the finished result.
Yeah.
So is I'm assuming path tracing is more draining on the PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's look at the frame rates.
Yeah.
So here we get 150.
150
with normal screen space reflections. If you turn on ray tracing,
it's
89.
Oh, so that is.
Yeah, it roughly like cuts your frame rate in half. But that is also on the highest ray tracing setting. There's a lower ray tracing setting that's a bit easier.
Yeah.
This is the highest one, and if you turn on like ray tracing with reflections, illumination, and shadows, you can expect about half getting half the frame rate.
Yeah.
But it will also vary depending on what graphics card you have.
Yeah.
Because the ray tracing especially on NVIDIA, is done with their like special ray tracing cost that they have in the graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have more cores, then that means that the performance impact will be slightly less than if you have less cores and the efficiency of cores. So ray tracing would be a lot, would cut your frame rate down way more than mine, because you have the first generation of ray tracing graphics cards, and it's like the mid-tier model.
Yep.
So the cores are not quite fast, and there's not a lot of them. And then my graphics card, which is the high-end newest one, it's like way more powerful, and there's way more cores available.
So what's the FPS look like with path tracing on?
So with path tracing,
Oh my
23.
god.
That massively reduces your frame rate.
Yeah, it
We went
does.
from 150 to 23.
Oh my god. The
Yeah,
most
it is
beautiful game I played was
extremely
Dandara.
expensive.
What's Dandara? I'll look that up real quick. Dandara.
That's why this path tracing setting on Cyberpunk, the developers say it's basically just a tech demo for future generations of graphics card because that is just insane.
Is that Trials of Fear? Looks kind of like a Metroidvania style.
Dandara.
Dandara, yeah. That looks really nice. I love that pixel art. Celeste with steroids, yeah. Honestly, it looks gorgeous.
Like a 2D game.
Yeah. I love pixel art.
But yeah, even in those, I think there's what's it called, Quake 2, that got an RTX version.
Oh yeah.
And that one actually uses full path tracing, like very similar to what Blender uses, basically, like the fully high quality thing, and with very little fakery. And then with it off, you get over 1000 FPS, and then with it on, you get like 60, 50.
Oh my god. That's a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
Bit much, honestly.
Yeah.
Shroom does pixel art. I know. It looks great.
There's also, so if you play Unreal Engine 5 games, you might also see the Lumen setting, which is basically Unreal Engine's version of ray tracing.
Okay.
That can be done both in hardware and software. And yeah, basically my recommendation for ray tracing is, unless you have a high-end new GPU, just keep it off, because it's really not worth the performance impact.
No, it's not.
It's more of a, in my opinion, more of a like future technology.
Yeah.
Once graphics get good enough to where the performance hit is not that big.
Yeah.
And the quality keeps going better.
Yeah.
I would at some point recommend like actually turning it on, but right now it's still like more of a tech demo than really something that you should use in games.
That 23, 150, like it's over 100 frames lost. Like, that's
yeah.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah. Again, we can alleviate a little bit by using like DLSS and frame generation.
Yeah.
So I could actually get this up to around 60 FPS. But still, like...
It's just like playing with your settings.
Yeah. Still a crazy amount.
Everything's going to be different. So what games have ray tracing now? Is it most of them, or?
I mean, the games that are coming out nowadays, especially AAA games, usually come with ray tracing now.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Because it's still a relatively new thing, and like basically everything that was made 5 years ago or earlier doesn't have that, of course.
Yeah.
Except for a few select games that got like an RTX upgrade.
I like older games. There's very few new games that I actually like go, oh yeah, I'll definitely pour money into that. Because it's just, games become more and more expensive for less product. Which is why I like Shadow of the Erdtree. It was, for a DLC it was expensive, but I knew I was going to get my money's worth.
Yeah. And it was basically like a whole game extension.
Oh my god, it was huge. Like, it felt like, it wasn't something that I was able to breeze through in an afternoon. It was an extra, like, 40 hours of gameplay. So, when you think about it, $1 per hour of gameplay, that's pretty fair.
Yeah. It's basically Elden Ring 2.
Yeah. And I mean, that's 40 hours of gameplay when I didn't complete everything. I didn't explore every inch of the map. I did a lot, but I didn't even complete all of it. I beat the final boss. That is considered completing it. Look, in total, I have 250 hours in Elden Ring. Like, I just like
Yeah.
exploring that world.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, things like the new Final Fantasy comes out, and Final Fantasy 16 cost me about, and I didn't play it. This was, I bought it for $0. It was about like $80 to $90.
Nope.
And
That's
while it was beautiful, like, I also didn't turn off, for fuck's sake, what's this? While it was beautiful, again, like I said, I paid $60 for a DMC5, and he has played DMC5 way more than he's played Final Fantasy 16. I don't even think he beat 16.
Yeah.
Like, just not because he couldn't do it, he got bored because it was so little quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
As
a shame.
As I always say, every game has a lifespan, and it's rarely the lifespan that the developers intend.
Oh yeah.
Like, a game can be 13 hours long, but it might last you only for 2 hours because then you get bored.
Yeah.
It might also last you for like 30 hours because you play it multiple times because it's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think Miyazaki said Elden Ring is a game that has like, he said it was like 30 hours or 40 hours or something, and it's like, well, I'm at 250, dude, so. And it came out 2 years ago, so that's a big deal. And then games like Stardew Valley. That's really simple. That was super cheap. I got hundreds of hours in it. Hundreds.
Yeah.
I've bought it twice. Once on my Switch, once on my PC. And I've played it on both. Tons. Ultra Kill? I haven't played Ultra Kill, so I can't really comment on that one.
Less than an hour game. Holy shit.
It's an old game?
Less than an hour game.
Less than an hour. You've got 363 hours on it. Okay, that's a good thing then. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're getting your money's worth. But, yeah. Like, now they want us to pay $100 for a game that they say is going to last a certain amount of time, but it's only because they filled it with padding. Like, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
I hate it when games waste my time. I'd rather play a shorter game than have my time wasted.
Yeah, yeah. Feel like you're doing the same quest over and over again.
Yeah.
Like Monster Hunter.
For ray tracing, I actually have 2 more things to show.
Okay.
So this is a screenshot of the new Alan Wake game with and without direct lighting. So lighting and shadows. And here you can see how ray tracing can really shine sometimes, because like here you see
shadows are so much more
it
defined.
tries to make a shadow from those like.
Oh my god, the lights!
Here it replicates the shadows perfectly, like on a pixel precision level. While normal shadowing kind of struggles with it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is really cool. Also, there was a thing with this box, like you can see a reflection of this tissue box, and like there you can see like, because it's on feet, you can't really see the feet because of the angle that you look at it, you can't see them. So the screen space reflection can't replicate that, but on a ray tracing it actually can.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. But ray tracing, of course, is also very implementation dependent, and it can have its quirks. And this is a good example.
Oh.
So here the ray trace shadows.
Yeah.
And the good thing is it actually does the ray tracing does the shadows accurately. So you see like, because it's closer to the ground, the shadows are sharper.
The shadows are darker.
As they get further away, they get blurrier.
Yeah.
Versus here, it's like universally blurry. But I guess because of like the limited like amount of distance it can have to ray trace or something, you can see that the shadows basically completely disappear at the further distance. But here they are universally there, as they should be. Just some little quirks that can happen with ray tracing.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next topic then. One topic that I think actually is really important, because I feel like a lot of people don't know what it exactly does, is frame synchronizers. So
Okay.
VSync, G-Sync, and FreeSync. Do you know what VSync is? Or what it does?
I think Zero told me, but I don't remember.
So,
So.
okay, VSync is a setting that actually almost every game has in its game, and even if it doesn't have it, you can force it on in the NVIDIA or in your graphics card driver settings.
Okay.
And the best way to know that you don't have it on is if this happens. Let me make it bigger.
Why is that tree
So you
floating?
can see, like,
Oh, it's all been cut.
it looks cut off, like the frame was cut.
Yeah.
So basically the top frame, the bottom frame is the previous frame, and this is the next frame that is being rendered. And it didn't have enough time to show the entire frame, so it only showed part of it, because it fills out the pixels from left to right and then
Yeah.
top to bottom.
It's like it's only loaded in
This is-
halfway.
Yeah. This basically happens if you have a game run at a higher frame rate than your display can show.
Okay.
So let's say you
VSync
run a
prevents
game at
screen
like
tearing.
140 FPS, but your monitor can only do 60.
Yeah.
It tries to catch up, trying to show you like the newest frame all the time.
Yeah.
But because it doesn't have enough time to like render the whole frame, it just renders part of it.
Okay.
Because it tries to give you the most up-to-date information possible.
I understand.
And
Cool.
what VSync does basically, it limits the frame rate to your monitor's refresh rate to say, okay, wait until I finish drawing this and then give me the next frame.
Yeah.
The upside of that is, no more tearing, and it looks pretty smooth because it's like the exact same refresh rate as the monitor.
Okay.
But the downside is it introduces latency because it's essentially waiting a lot.
Yeah.
And another upside is also because if you get more frames and then limit them, you use less of your GPU and then it runs cool and stuff like that. Basically that's what VSync does, is just limit it to prevent
Prevents
this.
the screen tearing. Okay.
Yeah.
So VSync is
then-
really important.
Yeah, this is something to turn on, though a new thing came around, which is G-Sync and FreeSync. You might even have a monitor that supports it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
Oh my god.
Because usually when you buy
Sorry.
a monitor, it often has like a sticker that says G-Sync or something on it.
I don't know. I didn't choose this one. I'm sorry. Hold on. Mito, are you okay? Kimmy,
What
chat.
the fuck is going on?
Are you okay?
What is going on?
Please stay safe. Don't go near any windows. Don't go outside. Just close your curtains. Pretend you're not home. They're so scary. After years of living in America, I know how like real that can be.
Yeah.
It's scary as hell, and all you can really do is just hide in the other room and hope to God nobody comes near you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Stay safe.
Yeah, please do. My monitor was included in like the package. I'm still alive, thank God. Thank God. My monitor was included with my PC. It was chosen to go with the PC essentially. The person who built the PC for me, based on the specs and all that, recommended this one to go with it. So I have no idea if it's FreeSync, G-Sync, or whatever it is. I just know that I don't have monitor problems. It's quite good. It looks pretty, and it's always run pretty well. So that's good. I mean, the base was shit, but I've replaced the base, and I don't really count.
Yeah.
But yes, I wouldn't know.
But is it 60 hertz or is it higher?
I genuinely can't tell you. I'm stupid. Imagine you're talking to a toddler.
Okay.
60 hertz? Do I have 60
so-
hertz on me? Yes, I fell off my slide.
Okay, so let me explain what G-Sync actually is. So
Okay.
with the rise of high refresh rate monitors, so
Yeah.
we went from 60 to like 144, 165, 240 hertz. We got a little problem. That is, most of the time you can't really run games at that frame rate. Like running a game at 240 FPS is like insane.
Yeah.
And the problem is if you have a mismatch between frame rates, like between the frame rate of your game and the refresh rate of your monitor,
Yeah.
you get stutters because the theory is actually pretty simple. So let's say you have 3 frames that are being rendered on your game.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you have a monitor that can do 6 frames at this time.
Yeah. It's over. Oh, thank goodness.
So
they're okay.
So, thank God. So, let's say this is your game running at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
And this is your monitor running at 120 hertz. Now, you somehow have to fit those 3 frames into those 6 frame slots. You can't just like be like, because like what you could do is say, okay, I just space them out, so like 1 frame for every 2 frames.
Oh yeah.
But then you have a black frame in between, so you would get like black flashing. That would be not desirable.
Yeah.
So what they do is just they replicate the frame. So they show the same frame like twice each time.
Like the interpolation that you told me about.
No, interpolation is generating new frames. Like that's trying to be a motion that is in between 2 frames.
This is
literally just duplicating. This is literally just showing the same frame twice.
Okay.
Instead of just once.
Okay.
So it's relative. And that way you get a still consistent motion. It's just like not as fluent because like it's half the frame rate.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what happens if you have a monitor that's you run out of space? Over here. What do you do if you have 7 now in your monitor? This is not a problem.
It can't equally do it.
You can't equally split, so we have to decide. Basically, what monitors at this point do is like they decide, okay, do we want to show this new frame, 3 times? Or rather, like which of these frames they want to show 3 times?
Yeah, it's even.
So you have frame 1 that is shown twice, frame 2 that is shown twice, and then frame 3 that is shown 3 times.
Okay.
And this inconsistency is visible to the human eye as stuttering, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's not like consistent anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
And to solve that issue, basically, G-Sync and FreeSync were invented. NVIDIA made G-Sync and then AMD made FreeSync. And what they basically do is actually not at all what FreeSync does. Is they read from the game at what frame rate it's running at, and then the monitor is changing its refresh rate to what the frame rate of the game is. So it's adapting, basically. So that if for some reason you find yourself in a situation like this where
you have 7.
Suddenly you have... No, wait. I'm doing it the wrong. Let's say you now have 8, but your monitor can only show 7. Or rather, at this moment your monitor only shows 7. It can be like, okay, let me increase the refresh rate so it can accommodate that and then be like consistent.
Okay.
So if your game, for example, runs at 100 FPS, your monitor will run at 100 Hertz.
Okay.
To guarantee like frame consistency and then smoothing. So it doesn't have to do like this whole, how do we duplicate our frames now?
Yeah.
It is not VSync because it's more for...
Thank you for being here, Mito. Have a good night. Stay safe. Sleep well, sweet dreams. Bye-bye. Sorry.
Yeah.
I always try to like say goodbye when people leave. It's important.
VSync is basically telling your game to chill down with the frames, so the monitor can keep up, and G-Sync is basically the opposite, telling the monitor to chill out and
To
then
hurry up. Yeah.
go less fast so the game can catch up to it.
Okay. Interesting.
That's why you always use G-Sync and VSync together.
Okay.
Actually, if you enable G-Sync, it will also automatically limit your frame rate on every game to your monitor's refresh rate.
Okay.
There's also some small things that you have to consider when setting up G-Sync, because G-Sync is supported on, of course, every monitor that actually supports it. You have to kind of look at the monitors if you are buying one to see if they support it or not. G-Sync specifically only works over DisplayPort, not over HDMI. And then you also need the graphics card that supports it, of course.
Yeah.
But I think it was introduced in the 900 series. So even older graphics cards still support it.
Okay.
And it works on every game, basically.
Okay.
Because it knows because the game is basically sending the frames to the monitor, and that way it knows at which speed it's going. There's something, if you do have it, I would recommend turning it on, simply because it will your game run, it will look smoother, even if it isn't, because it doesn't have to do this whole frame insertion thingy.
Yeah, that's handy. Nice to see.
What you have to keep in mind though is while streaming, there's no G-Sync for streaming.
Oh no, there's not.
So if you run your stream at 60 FPS, then you have to make sure that the game is running at either 60 FPS or something that can be clearly divided by 30 or 120.
Yeah.
So the frame times are consistent, or people who watch your stream will get stuttering because of the frame time variances.
I don't even remember what it was that happened, but my earlier Elden Ring streams were... I was the one lagging. And I spent hours messing with it, and then one day it just stopped happening. And I had messed with so many settings that I genuinely don't remember what it was that I did that fixed the problem, which is so frustrating. But it fixed the problem, and now it all runs really smoothly, but what did I do? This time around...
I don't know, maybe you just turned down settings so it could actually display all the 60 frames
Probably.
per second.
But yeah, this time when
I know Elden Ring is FPS limited.
But when I made this updated model in VTube Studio, I messed with it and I made sure the frame rate of the model was correct, rather than lagging and stuttering. And I made sure that the delay between my movement and her movement were 0, basically. Because it was I would do this, and she would go you know? It was I want to shake my head. Oh, it's funny how shaking my head causes everything to shake. I'm so dizzy, ugh.
Yeah, let's talk about runtimes.
Yeah.
So I remember you, a while ago, you asked me what an API is. And I actually have an even better way to explain it, basically.
Okay.
At least in the context of a runtime. So have you ever heard of DirectX?
Yes.
Yes. I assume you don't know what it's actually doing.
I have no idea, but I know that I have to have it installed in order to play Zoo Tycoon.
Yes. Actually, you need it usually for pretty much every game.
Yeah.
Every game needs a runtime.
Yeah. I don't know what it does.
The reason being is because of what it's doing. So DirectX is a graphics API.
Okay.
Let's say you want to you make a game and you want to tell the graphics card to draw a character on the screen.
Yeah.
What you have to do is okay, tell it to draw the triangles, then apply the textures, and then apply the lighting and shadows and everything. And every graphics card pretty much every system is doing the same, like those same things, like drawing the geometry, drawing the textures, drawing the lighting and everything. But the way they do it is different between graphics cards and between like graphics card manufacturers. So the way the geometry is calculated on an NVIDIA graphics card, for example, is different than how AMD does it.
Yeah.
But they all do the same thing. So what the API does, it's basically you tell the API, okay, I wanna draw a character, I wanna draw the geometry and the textures and the lighting. So you basically tell it what graphics card you have and what you want to do, and then it uses this information to figure out how to tell the GPU to do that thing. It's basically like a translator. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually like you tell it to do thing X, Y, and Z, and then it takes that information and tells the graphics card in its own way how to do it. What to do exactly.
That's helpful. That's really helpful, actually. It's kind of like
so
it's kind of like my job, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
by that I mean how teacher teaches something and then I try to reteach or even translate that to students who are like, what'd she say? That's my job. Translate it from teacher speak to like little tiny baby speak.
Yeah. In that case, you're doing it the opposite way. You're taking like something very specialized and then translating it to something simpler.
Yeah.
So when you develop a game, you don't have to worry about like, okay, to draw this, I have to like write it for this brand of graphics card for NVIDIA. And then I also have to do it for AMD because they do it a little different. You can just tell the API to do the thing and then it will figure it out on its own.
That's so handy. No wonder DirectX is so important.
Yeah, and it's a necessity. Pretty much like every game has a runtime. Is using a runtime. Simply because there's so many PC parts that are like in so many different configurations. In order for it all to work, there has to be something like this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't work at all.
No.
Yeah. So in modern games, normally you don't really get options, but sometimes you do. There's DirectX with DirectX 11 and 12.
Yep.
12 is just a newer version that is also faster on newer hardware, and it supports ray tracing. But especially on older hardware, it can actually be faster to use DirectX 11. So if a game gives you the option between those two, you can like think, okay, why is my ray tracing not working? It's because you probably use DirectX 11, or can I make this faster by using DirectX 11 instead of 12? It's possible.
That explains a problem I was having with Baldur's Gate.
Oh?
It would crash. It would actually blue screen my PC.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really scary until they released an update for it. But when I would run the game, it would have like an opportunity to choose if you wanted to run it through DirectX or if you wanted to run it through something else. I can't remember what it was. But sometimes if it was crashing repeatedly and blue screening, I would just change the thing from DirectX and it would work, and I didn't really know why it would work. I just did it because Zero told me to. But that explains it now, because it was translating it like I had a Spanish translator when I needed a Japanese translator essentially, and I don't speak that language.
It might also be because it might be the same translator, but it's like it's translated it slightly wrong, so it got the wrong information, and then
it went and just exploded.
It's more like
it scared me.
Do you have the paper card that you get when getting a graphics card from NVIDIA? The one you get from buying a 1390? What? I don't have such a thing.
Do you have a 3090?
They give you a paper card? No, I have a 4080 Super.
What the fuck? Oh my god. I remember there was there was this one VTuber who I loved, still love. He wears a different face now, but he was talking about, like, he made a joke about if you put a graphics card on the ground underneath a trap, you can catch yourself a boyfriend. And somebody said, like, what if you put like a 4090 or Ti or whatever the code number was in the trap? And he went, that's how you catch yourself a husband. And
Yeah, 4090 is so expensive.
yeah. I always think of that whenever anybody talks about, like, graphics cards and the prices. I'm just like, yeah. And I'm over
You know
here
what
with
would also be a good
little tiny one.
topic to teach you about? Now
Different
that you
graphics
mention
cards? Yeah.
it's like the numbering and the TI and the Super and everything and what it actually means.
Yeah, then
It's quite interesting. And the weird thing is that the companies that make up those names also break their own rules.
Of course they do.
Often. So you know how, like, so let's say you have a 4070 and then you get a 4070 Ti. It's like Ti basically means it's better, but not so much better that it could be a 4080. That's like in between thing.
Okay.
And Super basically means the same thing, but it was like they got a new name for it for some reason.
It's kind of like the what's it called? Sorry, talismans. Kind of like talismans in Elden Ring. You can get something called like a cerulean tear, basically. I can't remember if that's the real name, but then you can get a +1 or a +2, and those are stronger versions of the original one. However, there is also a talisman that is just better than even the +2. So it's kind of like that. So it's like a 4070 +2. So it's not a 4090, but it's still better than the original. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There we go. I finally made sense of something. We have 5 minutes left, and I finally understood something.
So the TI, either TI or Super, basically means it's slightly better version of it.
What does
But
TI
you know
stand
what they
for,
did?
though?
You know what they did?
What?
They released the 4070 Ti Super. They broke their own naming convention.
What? Wait. No, now I'm confused. Now my brain don't work. What?
Yeah. So the 4070 came out, then they made the 4070 Ti, which is slightly better, but not quite the 4080. And then they were like, oh, let's also make a 4070 Ti Super, which is faster than a 4070
So it's a
Ti.
+1, +2.
Yeah, basically.
But it's not a +3.
No.
What?
It's so weird.
I'm confused. My brain hurts.
Yeah, and then also some other smaller things, like they change, for example, they had a 3060, which has 12 gigabytes of VRAM, and then they quietly released an 8 gigabyte version that was also slightly slower. So they should have called it like a 3050 or 3055 or something like that.
Yeah.
But they just kept the name.
Just
Again,
dumb.
breaking their own naming convention.
That's just dumb.
Yeah.
We gotta go to this thingy, because apparently Wasos is getting blocked by AutoMod for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
It looks like Wasos is sending you the thing, though.
But that card you're talking about. I actually have one of those, yeah. It's like a trading card.
So you do have one?
Can I show it in the stream?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my 4080 Super actually came with one of those, and I was like, why the fuck do they give me a trading card?
Let's see. I don't have anything blocking sent you. I don't even have it, like... Sorry, Wasos, I don't know why you're getting blocked. Oh!
Oh, that's quite big. Yeah, that's basically what it looks like. So sometimes when you buy a graphics card, they give you like a credit card.
Are you serious? Oh my god. Gamers are on like a whole new level.
I think Asus is the one doing that, because that is an Asus ROG Strix card. And my card is an Asus Pro Art card.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they give you sometimes goodies for it.
God, I love that.
It's so funny.
That is amazing. Get a trading card.
Yeah. But to finish up this whole graphic topic, because there's
Yeah.
a little bit that's left. Runtimes, there's like 11 and 12.
Yeah.
There's also Vulkan, which was made by AMD.
Mhm.
And that's, for example, used by Doom. The Doom
Oh!
games.
Vulkan! Vulkan was the other one. It was DirectX and it was Vulkan for Baldur's Gate. It was Vulkan.
Yeah. Vulkan is known to be actually more performant in many cases.
Probably
So
would
switching
work
to
better.
that can also make a difference.
Yeah, that's probably why it stopped blue screening.
Yeah. I assume also Baldur's Gate was probably written for Vulkan and then like also translated to DirectX, but
Yeah.
something like went not 100% correct.
Thank you, Elsa's.
And then there's also OpenGL, which Minecraft uses.
OpenGI. Why does that sound familiar? Well, probably because Minecraft uses it, honestly. I'm not that bright. Like I said, my brain is melting.
Okay. Yeah. The only things I have left,
Mhm.
which we don't really have to talk about at length, is like some extra features that you see in games.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the frame generation stuff, NVIDIA Reflex, and some other niche things. Yeah, we could also skip those or just really quickly talk about them, depending on how much time you have.
I got 5 minutes.
Okay, well, frame
Plus the
generation,
heat is getting to my PC,
as the
it's not
name
good.
implies,
Yeah.
no. Frame generation, as the name implies, generates frame in between real frames to give you more FPS for free.
Like VSync or?
No.
Okay.
It's just like takes the frame and then like a previous frame and the next frame and then tries to guess what comes between those frames, like
Oh, okay.
generating a new frame, basically.
Okay. Cool.
And that gives you free performance because it can take, like, in that case, it takes less time to like generate that fake frame than it is to render a whole new frame. There's DLSS frame generation, there's FSR frame generation. DLSS is way better than FSR in frame generation. But there's also a program that's called lossless scaling. It's mostly for adding upscaling, like surface level upscaling to every game. But it also supports their own version of frame generation. And the cool thing about this is because it's doing it on top of the game rather than in the game, it can be used on pretty much every game. That's actually really good, but the downside is because it doesn't have like in access to like game, like the game engine to know like, okay, which direction is the character moving, to like get a better guess, and it gets it's not quite as good. And it also has add effecting on things that are static on screen. So let's say like a hut or something, you will notice that if you move it around, they might like get mushed and like stretched or something.
Yeah.
Because DLSS frame generation, for example, gets the frame without the hut and can use that to interpolate. Yeah. And really quickly, NVIDIA Reflex, that's a setting that you often see in competitive games like Apex.
Okay, yeah.
It's basically if you don't reach or exceed the frame rate that your monitor refreshes at.
Yeah.
So, for example, you have a 160 Hertz monitor and you get like 100 FPS.
Yeah.
It does some very clever fuck, I forgot what. Does some clever things to make sure that the latency is as low as possible.
Okay, because
So
obviously
Reflex
that will
basically
fuck up
proves-
competitive.
Yeah, because in competitive games you want your latency to be as low as possible.
Yeah.
And the best way to get
Scarcity.
the latency low is by taking less time to render each frame, of course. But Reflex tries to reduce the latency with clever tricks while also not having as high of a frame rate.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. It's pretty handy.
There's
as
also
well.
there's three settings: off, on, and on plus boost. On and on plus boost. The only difference is that it keeps your graphics card at a high performance state rather than like letting it clock down when the game is less intensive.
Mm-hmm.
On plus boost just improves the latency a little bit more, basically, at a higher power draw.
Luckily, I don't play competitive games, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I rage way too hard.
I mean, you could also say that even if you play competitive settings, unless you are at a very high level, you probably won't notice like the minimal
yeah, that's true.
latency differences.
Yeah.
But like if you're talking like from 300 FPS, that kind of latency down to say 100 FPS, you will probably notice that still. So having reflex is actually really good.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, that's basically everything that I had for this.
I've learned so much! I can't wait till Friday when I can start fucking with my 14 settings and make the game as beautiful as possible.
Yeah.
And then crash the game because my PC can't handle it. But they did release a benchmark, and it said it was very, very high, so it's good. It's good.
Nice.
Like I ran through the benchmark and there wasn't any delay or lag. It looked really smooth, it looked really clean on max settings, so all is good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh my gosh, I need to get out of this room and turn my PC off because it is filling the room with heat and I feel sick at this point from it. It's like I want to say I need an ice bath, but then people will start getting concerned.
Yeah,
no,
I need to rest my voice because I've been talking so much.
You've been talking so much, my gosh. You forgot the game is hard? Yeah, it is, Wassas. Speaking of Wassas, I got some ice, so I'm going to munch on some ice. That's going to help. Because last time when I was playing, Wassas was like, you need to just chew on some ice, and I was like, that would help. That would really help.
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Oh my gosh. It says that temperatures are going to drop tomorrow, so we can only fucking hope. Can I give you 2? I wish I could. I wish I could. Oh.
It's going to be 31 degrees tomorrow for me.
Oh no. For me, it's going to be... See full forecast, let's find out. 21. And then it's going to drop to 20 on Friday. And then it's going to be 22 on Saturday, but 19 on Sunday. And then next week, we're back down to 17. Thank God for that. I can survive. Oh.
It's been getting so hot lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be 34. Jesus. Jesus. My winter was hotter. Oh, yeah, today when I had to pop out for something, I bumped into a friend and she was like, why are you complaining, Florida? And I'm like, I had AC there. I can't escape this. Oh, speaking of, just before we wrap up, I want to share this. I shared this with Kimmy earlier, but what's else? Today I ordered some groceries. They left out half my items, but the most important weird one was I ordered a cake mix to bake a cake, and they replaced it with a tin of pineapple. What am I gonna do with that?
What the fuck?
Just, like, I know substitutions, right? But you could have replaced it with a chocolate cake mix, or a rainbow cake mix, or red velvet. But a tin of pineapple. And I can't even eat pineapple. Hydrate, I will. I'm gonna go hydrate right now because my water has gotten warm, which is disgusting.
They substituted the soup for a brick.
That's even worse. That's not even edible. Oh my gosh. It was okay though, because once I complained about it, the lady was like, "I'm so sorry about the inconvenience." And I was like, "It's okay, this heat probably just made them, like, loopy." And she was like, "Thank you for being so kind and understanding." I'm like, "Well, it's not your fault. Why would I be mean to you?" I have Sprite. Hooray for Sprite. Sprite.
My water's also warm now.
Ew. Yeah, we gotta get fixed that. Cold water. Let's get cold water. And I'm gonna cook dinner. Alright.
You know the temperatures are bad if I put water into the fridge.
Alright, thank you for being here, everyone. I hope that you all learned something from Kimmy tonight.
Yeah.
Kimmy, I'm too sleepy to do a raid, but if you have one, tell me and I'll do it. Like, I can't go... I'll end up putting your name in again, so give me somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm a mod now, so I can just... Wait, can I?
Yes, you can. I believe so.
Let's try it out.
Test out your
Hey,
new
Lottie's-
fan power.
Speaking of Kingdom Hearts, Lottie's playing that.
Oh, yeah, let's go see Lottie.
So that's right time.
Let's go bother Lottie. By bother her, I mean I'll pop in
Let's
for
go.
5 seconds.
It did
Maggie
not
is
work.
also live.
Yeah, Maggie's playing mods. And
Maggie is
I
also
cannot wait for
teaching.
you now.
Okay. Let's see, do we want Lottie or do we want Maggie? Because Maggie is also teaching, so do you want the lesson to continue? I feel like in the spirit of things.
The first one in chat to say something decides.
Yeah, well, Sas, you got enough points to guide the raid, don't you? Both are good. Maggie or Lottie, you decide. Maggie's doing teaching. Lottie's doing Kingdom Hearts. What do you want to do? Do you want to be educated, or do you want to see Goofy and Donald refuse to heal Sora? Alright,
Maggie does then.
It's Maggie this. So, raid. Fate Magna. Let the lesson continue. Do you have a raid message?
Let the lesson continue. I think that's a good way.
That's a good way. Let the lesson continue. Let me just go there. Maggie's teaching with Monozuki. Mr. Magazine. I mean, let the lesson continue. I like that. Alright. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. So, sleep well, sweet dreams, and I will see you on Friday for Kingdom Hearts. And Kimmy, what are you next doing stuff?
Friday, my usual Friday rafting with Lottie on her channel.
Alright then. We will both see you on Friday. Whilst us having 2 streams open at once, like always. Sleep well, sweet dreams. Bye-bye.
Bye.